We're going into the desert for episode 16, as we can see a caravan of camels carrying supplies through a desert setting. This stamp is from the Emirate of Dubai, as we can see in both English and Arabic text, and is actually an airmail stamp, as we can see to the far right. Notice that there is no perforations on the stamp, but there is a red symbol on each of the camels, a crescent moon with a small boat inside. This stamp is celebrating the centenary of the Red Cross, as we can see on the top left, 1863 to 1963, when the stamp was issued. This stamp was never used and was worth 40 Naya Paisa, which was the subunit of the Gulf rupee being used at the time. So this came in a set of 4 imperforated stamps celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Red Cross, and we can see that through the imagery and the symbol of the Red Crescent. In Muslim countries, a red crescent is used instead of a red cross. Now, the red boat inside of the red crescent I believe to be symbolic of Dubai, because that is a dhow boat, as this stamp portrays. Dhow boats were very important to Dubai's economy at the time, with fishing and pearl diving. Dubai is an emirate, which is a territory run by an emir, kind of like a monarch. And today, Dubai is part of the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE, where 7 different emirates came together and formed a federation back in 1971 and 1972. And this stamp was issued back when Dubai was not yet part of the federation. You can also find stamps from the other 6 emirates, such as Abu Dhabi, which serves as the capital, Fujairah, Ajman, Al Quwan, Ras Al Khaimah, and Sharjah. Now, I'd like to drive this episode towards focusing on the camel, or really a discussion about focusing on the camel. You see, topical or thematic philately is the practice of studying and collecting postage stamps with a very specific subject that is displayed or represented on these stamps. And it could be on anything. It could be just on the camel, as in this case, or on buildings or vegetation or a particular sport. And it could be as specific or as broad as you'd like, maybe even limited to a very particular point in time or decade. Now, you may argue that that's what I've been doing in the various episodes of Exploring Stamps, but take it to a whole nother level where the philatelist could become somewhat of an expert on the subject matter and may uncover fascinating and unknown perspectives on ideas or people or places that may otherwise have gone unknown. And therefore, it is a very rewarding branch of philately where a stamp collector hunts for particular stamps that can help explain a story and then arrange those stamps in a way that helps them to tell that story. The reason why I bring this up is because I easily found a number of camel stamps, some from the Middle East, from Africa, Europe, and one with Mickey Mouse from the Caribbean. And some of these stamps portray them with such majestic appearance that you get to understand the respect and importance they have to some of these countries and regions. I managed to find the first camel stamp ever to be issued. It's this one from 1893 from a place called Obok, which is right here. It's a port town in Djibouti, but was a French colony at the time, and a pretty strategic location as it sits on the entrance to the Red Sea from the Indian Ocean. Now, the stamp is pretty cool because firstly it's triangular, but it also doesn't have any perforations. Instead, they are drawn on the stamp. I'm not sure what the point was. Maybe just to make it look more like a stamp? Here's a famous camel stamp in philately, issued from Sudan, and it portrays a camel and rider delivering mail to British regiments during the Anglo-Egyptian reconquest of Sudan in the 1890s. And finally, this one's my favorite. It's from French Algeria. And just look at the scene that this stamp has captured. Just sand and dunes as far as the eye can see. Some little structure and a camel and its owner in the distance. I just love how desolate this image is with the footprints left behind, and it almost brings about a feeling of loneliness in the vastness of the desert sand. Thankfully, there's a camel in this image to break that feeling of deserted loneliness. Oh, where's it going? Hey, come back! Aww. Well, now we're alone. Consider the idea of topical or thematic philately. Whatever is of fascination to you, go collect and learn from the stamps that depict that topic. If you already collect a topic, let everyone know in the comments. I'm curious to hear about your collection. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.